Hey folks, I welcome you to the Git and GitHub 101 presented by Developer Days. I hope you are learning a lot of new skills in this Developer Days event and you are ready for the challenges. So, yeah, I think I should introduce myself first. I am Ashish Chawda. I am an engineering student at SSTC Bhilai. I am currently in fourth year. So, I am also a software engineering intern at train and I'm also a GitHub campus expert. You can find me on GitHub using my username. I'm also a Microsoft Learn student ambassador. So yeah, that's brief about me. Um, let's talk about the movie Endgame now. Just for a moment. In this movie, half of the human population disappears because of the Thanos. So Avengers, being the heroes, tries to fix this mess by creating a time machine. While collecting the Infinity Stones, Hulk was not allowed to take the lift, and because of him, they lose the Tesseract too. So they need to go back in time again to fix this another mess. So, are you getting it? If they didn't have the time machine, humanity was screwed. Okay, that's a lot of time travel, but don't you think we had the time machine? We could fix our history. Well, it's not possible yet to change our history, but we can fix mistakes in our code. Yes, we have a time machine for software developers, which can help us fix our mistakes and keep track of events or you can say versions. And that magic software is Git. So, do we really need this magic software, which every software developer is talking about? In my opinion, yes. So let's talk a little about Git. So Git is a version control system or software you can say. So version control systems are types of softwares which helps us track changes or yeah any kind of changes into files by keeping a track of modifications. By modifications we mean which line of code is changed or which particular text or character is changed. So Git helps us keep track of these types of changes, and yeah, it is very helpful in software development. You will get to know it afterwards, but yeah, uh, please trust me, it is very helpful to track these changes because we can revisit these changes and get some really good info about our code. So Git is kind of a content tracker. It tracks and records any change that is done in any set of files. Registering any code change in a file is really super easy. Just three steps. So the first step is finding out the files whose changes you want to save or record, and second is adding them to the staging area. So by staging area, I mean it is kind of a reception for files where they get an appointment to be committed or registered their change in content. And the final step is to commit all the files or whatever the changes you have done in those files. A commit creates a new record in your project history. You can revisit to see what did you change in that particular file. So let's take an analogy here. So think of an apartment whose security is very tight and you want to meet your uncle there. So when you visit the apartment, security guard asks you who are you and who are you visiting here. So you tell them about your uncle's flat. They let you in the apartment, and this particular section or this particular phase can be thought of a staging area because you are approved to visit, and then after that you let inside the apartment. They ask you to log an entry in the register. which is kind of a commit, or you can say it is similar to a commit, so that anybody can recheck who visited at what time. So yeah, this was a little about Git and what it does. So yeah, this is a small visualization of how Git looks like or how it works. So yeah, considering you are working on a your personal project, so this is a file and you are doing some changes. So the green color represents that you have added something. So after the addition, this file looks like this, that yeah, this particular line was added, or maybe you can say modified. And after that, you also did some more modifications, and the file looks like this. So what Git stores is, Git stores these small changes you had done in the file. So this can be saved as a single commit. For example, you added a new function. So this is a new function added to your program or your code. This is another set of, you can say, class. You added a new class. So yeah, this file becomes after adding the class. So this can be called as a commit. And this particular scenario is when two people are working on a single file. So consider this as a single project or a Git repository which you created. So this was shared with you and your friend. So suppose you added something and your friend deleted something. So he thought that yeah, this code is not necessary, so let's just remove it. And you thought that yeah, this can be improved, so you just added some modifications. So yeah, we both have, or your and your friend, you both have done your part. You have done the changes. Now it is time to merge it together in your project so that people can use your project or see your project. So here when the Git comes into the picture. So Git has recorded these changes, like you have added something or you have deleted something, and at some extent, Git can easily merge these changes together and create the final project for us. There may be some times that you may experience some merge conflicts where Git is unable to identify uh, what to what to take in and what to reject. So yeah, that is a scenario of merge conflict. But yeah, so this is what really Git does, and Git is super helpful when we are working in a team because everybody has their single set of copies. Git is also called a distributed version control system because everybody has their copy of your project, and Git tracks those records. And when we try to merge those changes, Git helps us to merge those changes into a single project which can be shipped or delivered to your client, or just somewhere you hosting on it on GitHub maybe. So yeah, this is a little visualization of how Git registration process is looks like. So suppose you did a change, and you did a change in your file, and after that you want to add that file into the staging area ready to be committed. So what you do, you run the command called git add. So git add command helps us to add any file into the staging area. So after all the files you want to be committed are added into the staging area, then you can write the commit message for it. For example, you added a new program. So your commit message can be add a new program, or you can write a program name also there. That would be super helpful to study what the change you did. So you run the command called git commit. Git commit command helps us to commit any changes. So yeah, this is the working tree which looks like for Git. And this is a small history kind of thing or timeline you can say for a single project. So let's just consider we are building a website. So in the website, the starting phase was this. So after adding this, we added the commit called add heading to index page. So suppose we added a new heading here. So that is the commit message for it. And after few days, we thought we should improve it more, or we should add more things here, more content here. So we added the image also and some more content. So here is our commit message. After few days, we thought, yeah, we it can also be improved, and we should do some modifications. So we switched the image to right side and added some more content. So here is the commit message, change the page layout. So this is how a project commit history looks like, or timeline you can say. And for example, I don't like this page layout which I have created. So using Git, I can go back in time, means coming here in this particular version, and I can restore this version, or I can start fresh with this version, so that I don't have to bother about this mess which I have created, and after that I can continue from here. So this is where Git is really helpful. And yeah, that was a lot about Git. Let's just talk about GitHub also, because it is also important part of our software developer life nowadays. So there is a really big confusion going on with the students. They think GitHub is also a version control system, which is not. So version control part is handled by Git only. So Git is a software, it is a version control system, it helps us track the changes in our files. But GitHub, you can say it is a service or a platform, and we use it for the code collaboration. We'll discuss what really the code collaboration part means. And for Git is a command line tool basically. There are GUI versions also, but software developers prefer it to be the command line part. So yeah, Git has the command line interface, and we can do various commands, or we can use various commands to do various kinds of records in our commit history. For example, we can add a new commit, we can revert back to a commit, or we can change changes. So yeah, there are a lot of things which we can do with the git command line. And for the GitHub primarily has a GUI, which you can access from github.com. But now it has also a command line tool which is called GitHub CLI. So all the things which you can do in the GUI, you can also do it using the GitHub CLI. So yeah, we use GitHub to host our Git repositories. So the repositories which are already a Git repository, or you can say which already has a Git commit history, so we can host it in on GitHub. And it is not necessary that you your project has to be a Git repository. It cannot be. You can store almost any kind of file on GitHub. So yeah, now here comes the difference. GitHub is a platform or a service. It internally uses Git for the version control part, and provides us all sort of awesome collaboration tools and the clean UI to see the commit history. So yeah, GitHub is a service. It uses Git for the version control system. So GitHub is not a version control system. Yes. And yeah, this is the basic UI when you visit a repository. By repository, I mean it is a folder or a directory where our code is stored. So this is the repository of VS Code, and this is how it looks like. And there are a lot of things here. So I'm just giving the overview of how a repository might look like. This is the code section. There are various files here in this folders, and yeah. So there are few icons in the this page. One was the fork icon, other one is the star and bots. Let's discuss a little about this. So whenever we see a repository, so for example, this is a Microsoft's VS Code repository. Just consider I want to contribute to this VS Code repository. For example, I want to build a new UI or build a new layout for the VS Code. So what I will do is I'll make a copy of this VS Code repository. So by copy, I mean I'll click on this fork button, which is present here. So yeah, by clicking on fork, we can create a personal copy of that project on our GitHub. So I can do all sorts of changes on that repository, also complying with the licenses which comes with the project. So we need to comply with the licenses, and yeah, whenever we have done the changes, we can propose our changes by making a pull request. We'll discuss about the pull request later. So pull request is just kind of a request that, yeah, please, I have done these changes, merge my code into a repository if you like it. That's simply a pull request. And star is kind of a, you can say, a bookmark to access the repo data, or you can also star a repository to show your appreciation. For example, whenever we are on Instagram, so if we like someone's picture, we like it, right? So to show that, yeah, we like this thing. So in the GitHub, we also star the repositories to show the maintainer or the creator that, yeah, we like your project and it is super amazing. And the watch part is only for the projects which you are actively contributing. So by watch, you can just get the notifications of those changes which are going on in the repository. There are some important files in the repository which you should be keeping in the mind. First one, the most important one is the readme.md. Readme, as you can say, readme. Whenever you visit a repository, this is the first file which you want to look, because it contains all kinds of details about the project, what the project does, how to set it up in the local environment, how to use it, what is the purpose, how to contribute to it, and all sorts of basic details which are needed for a newcomer to that particular repository. License, as you know, it just provides some kind of permissions to you to do any kind of thing with the project. For example, open source licenses usually provide you to share the code and make any modifications to it. So yeah, that is about license. Contributing.md file, it shows what kind of contributions you can do, and how you can contribute to it. So yeah, basic details about it. Code of conduct. Code of conduct contains some kind of, you can say, guidelines which you need to look for and keep in mind while having conversation with other members in the organization, or while having conversation with the maintainers or any community member. So these are some guidelines you should look into first. And changelog.md, it is uh, just a simple log which you create after every new version. For example, I released the version 1, so I'll create a new log in the changelog.md file that what all changes I did in the version 1. So it is kind of a short form of documentation, because if there are not lot of changes, you can just add it in the changelog.md. And .md, I mean, it is a markdown format. It is similar to HTML. So yeah, it is just for the markup. And these are the issues. Issues are just a way to share a problem. For example, if you find something that this is not working in your code, so you should let them know by creating an issue that, hey, I just was going through the code and I saw that this thing is not working. You should fix it. And if you are confident yet you can fix it, you can just suggest them some solutions. So yeah, that is about the issues. And these are the two very basic icons you will see. So the green ones means that the issue is still open and needs to be acknowledged, and this one is the closed, so issue was maybe solved or it was not needed at that point, means that change what you proposed might not be needed. And yeah, here's the pull request. So pull request is just a way to ask someone that, yeah, I have did this change and you should merge it in your code, and your code will be better after merging this change. So yeah, this is just a pull request. So whenever we fork something, fork any repository, We do some changes, and then we make a pull request to the original repository that, hey, I did some changes here, and you should consider merging it because I have done some real optimization here, and any kind of changes you might have done which can be helpful for the original project. And these are three basic icons for the pull request. So the green one means open, that your pull request is still open and yet not merged. Closed means that your pull request was closed and kind of rejected because you did something wrong, or that was breaking the code, or maybe other reasons also. And the purple one means that the code was merged. Whatever changes you did, it was merged in the original project, and you are now a contributor to the project. So yeah, let's see the web demo now. So this is how the GitHub UI looks like whenever you visit a github.com website. And if you are creating the account just now, then it might be different for you. But yeah, I have been for a long time on GitHub. So yeah, this is the interface I see. So let's just visit your profile. You can just click on this icon and click on your profile, and it will open your profile here. So here will be your name, here will be your username, some description you can set, and this is just a new feature which GitHub added few months back, or you can say a year back. And this is the repository section. So whenever I try to add any repository here, so I can just store my code here. For example, I created this badge generator for Google Cloud Ready Facilitator program. So it was hard for me to do it in the local and track my changes. I also wanted to share this project with my friends. So what I did, I just uploaded it on GitHub, and you can see all my commit history here. So these are all the commits which I have made. And I can just visit those commit and see what all changes I have done. So you can see the number changed here. This is the commit ID, and I can see what my project was at that time of particular commit. So yeah, this is basic thing about it. And there are, okay, let's just imitate that you are trying to solve the challenge of developer days, and you want to upload your project onto the GitHub. So what we'll do is we'll go to your repositories, and you can see the new button here. Click on the new button, and you can write the repository name. For example, I am writing developer days. Description, yeah, it is optional, so let it be now. And I am selecting public. So please ensure that your repository is public, because if it is private, mentors won't be able to see your code, and you won't be considered for the challenge. So yeah, please try to keep it public here. You can add a readme. We just discussed that readme is very important file in our project. And git ignore is, we just suppose if we want git to ignore some files, we add those files in the git ignore. So it is not really necessary for now, but yeah, you can add it later also. And this is the license. There are many kinds of license here. You can read it, read about it on Google, that what each license means. I'll select the most basic MIT license, which gives kind of every permission for you to do with my project. So I'll just create the repository. So yes, whenever you create a repository, it literally looks like this. It is also giving you some commands which you can run in your local environment to see, to just do your first commit. And yeah, there is one more thing. This is the website git-scm.com, where you can download the Git version control. So you need to download Git to be able to use Git in your local environment. So just go to this website. I'll link down it in the description, and you can download the Git from there. Just click on your particular operating system, and you can just download it. So yeah, this is about downloading the Git. After Git, you can just open your terminal. Yeah. So after installing Git, you will get this particular Git bash here option if you have opted for it. And yeah, so whenever you have downloaded the Git version control, you can check it by Git hyphen version. So it shows you the version of the Git which is installed on your system. So we have ensured that yes, Git is on our system. So let's just go back to the repository, and yeah, from clicking on this particular code button, you can get a drop down, and I am selecting the HTTPS version because we will be using that particular kind of method here. So just click on copy, go back to the terminal here, type git clone and paste the link. So when you click enter, it is cloning the project. By cloning, it is downloading the Git repository with its commit history also. So whatever commit you have done, it is downloading that also from the GitHub. So GitHub is basically a cloud-based hosting environment or platform where you are storing just your Git repositories. So we have cloned the project here. So let's just go inside the project. So as you can see, we are inside the project, and just when I ran this command cd developer days, and this main is showing. So main is the branch name. You can check the branch by git branch, and it shows you that what branch you are on now. So it is the main branch. And just for the sake of adding a new commit, let's just create a file. Yes, so I have created a file here, which is test.txt. So after creating the file, let's just check the status. So the Git status, Git shows us what kind of things Git is not tracking or it is tracking, and what all changes have been done. So by typing Git status, you can see that there are untracked files. So Git is saying us that this file is not yet tracked. So we need to add it to the staging area. After that, we can commit it. So by that we mean git add, and we can just write the name of the file test.txt. So after adding, let's just check the status again, what it shows. So you can see now, previously it was showing that the file is untracked, and now it is showing that changes to be committed. So what we have done is, by adding it to the staging area, we have said git that yeah, we trust the change and we are ready to commit this change. So right after we have added the file to the staging area, we can commit it. So for commit, you can write git commit -m, and in double quotes, you can write your commit message. So I am writing add new file. It can be different for your project because I am just doing it for the demonstration purpose. And you can write meaningful commit messages. For example, if you added the index.html file to your project, so you can just write add the index.html. Or if you implemented some particular section of the website, For example, you implemented the header, so you can write that edit the header. So yeah, always write meaningful commit messages, so can when you revisit the commit history, you can know what things are done and what you have done at that point of time. So when I click enter, it generates a UUID for that commit, which is this, and this is our commit message. This is the branch name. So it shows that this particular commit was created on this particular branch. This is the commit message, and this shows the difference, what all things have been done. So we have only created the file. File is empty now. So one file was changed. And yeah, there are two terminologies which we haven't discussed yet. One is pull and one is push. So this is not the physics I'm talking about, but this is the cloud-based environment. So whenever we talk about push, we mean that there is a local repository which is on our system. So currently this particular developer days is considered as local repository. So we are doing some changes here. Git is tracking those changes, saving it in the .git folder. So if you type ls-a, you can see that there is a .git folder here, which is hidden because of the initial dot or prefix. But all the changes we are doing, all the git history which is being recorded here, and all the logs of the git, it is being stored in this .git folder. So yeah, git is doing these things, and whenever we push something, whenever we write this git push command, so what it does, whenever we write this git push command, what it does, it takes those changes from the local repository which are new, and it pushes or uploads it to the remote repository, which is here. So just now you say that I push something, and when I click on the code part, you can see that text.txt is here, but I created in the local. So how it got there? Because of this push command. Because I pushed it, so the push command uploaded those changes to my remote repository. By remote, I mean a repository which is on the cloud or which is somewhere else, which I am just connected to. So you can also check which repository you are connected to by git remote command. So remote repository. So here is the name of the repository origin, and here is the link to that, and you can just match it. That link is same to this link which we had copied here. So yeah, this local repository developer days is connected to this remote repository developer days. So whenever we push something, it will be reflected here. So let's just see what does the pull mean. We have seen what does the push mean. So let's just create a new file. Let me name it test1.txt. I'll add something here. I'll just commit it, and you can see there is the new file text1.txt. So after doing this change, let's just try git pull in the command line. So you can see it it has something different than the push command here. So that different thing is it got a new commit, which is this, and it is downloading that commit, and we are getting a new file test1.txt. So if you ls, then you can see that previously there was only test.txt. Now text1.txt is also there. So yeah, this is the pull and push part of the GitHub, or you can say Git, because there might be any remote repository. In our case, it is on GitHub, but in multiple cases, it can be on GitLab or your another server or anything. So yeah, this was the basic about Git and GitHub. And let me know if you have doubts in the Discord by tagging me. And Yeah, this is the basic thing you have to do. You have to just create your project in the local. Okay, I missed something. Let me show it to you. So for example, you created your project. So I am creating a new folder here, which whose name is test. So I created the folder. I'm going into the folder now. So as you can see, previously when we entered into the developer days, this main was showing. But when I entered into the test, that is not showing because developer days is a Git repository, but test is not. So if you are not cloning something from the GitHub and you are creating something from scratch on your local machine, so you need to run the command git init. By git init, the git creates a new repository, or you can say initializes a new git repository into that particular folder. So previously, if you see after test here, nothing is being showing. But when we ran the command git init, master is being shown here. And if I try to check the status, it is showing that yeah, there is no commit here. So this is something, if you are doing it from scratch on your local machine, you need to initialize it as a Git repository. And after that only you will be able to track the changes. So yeah, that was all about the Git and GitHub. And let me know if you have any doubts. Thank you so much.